Kate, the family tells me if this had happened just a day earlier, the entire family would have been home and kids would have been behind this wall.
Like half of this floor is in the basement. It's just a little shocking.
Cheri Manning couldn't believe her eyes when she arrived to her parents' home this afternoon. A giant hole on the side where a window used to be.
No, it didn't even seem this bad. We saw pictures on Facebook before we got here and stuff, but it didn't seem this bad at all until we walked in.
Sheriff deputies were called to this home on the 800 block of 146th Avenue in Wayland around 2 after a driver lost control of her vehicle, went down an embankment, and crashed into the Manning's family home.
And I called my mom, and she was a little calmer than I would have expected, you know.
The vehicle landed in a part of the home used as a playroom.
After church, we normally come over here for Sunday dinner, and the playhouse that used to be inside that room the kids play in, and
including Kristen Priest's 3-year-old daughter.
Yeah, it's really upsetting to think that someone could have been in there, any of the kids at all could have been in there.
The family says while the damage to the home is substantial, it can be replaced.
We're just really glad that she's okay and that nobody was home at the time and that the whole family's okay. That's the kids' playroom, and normally, you know, if somebody had been home, then some of the kids might have been in there.
And as for the driver of that vehicle, we're told she was treated for minor injuries and is going to be okay. Live in Wayland, Cheri Hardman, News Channel 3.
Jay Maddox changed the name on his ID here a while ago, but he says there's still one thing on it that doesn't reflect who he really is.
For most of us, our biggest worry on our driver's license, a bad photo. But not for someone like Jay Maddox. He says there's anxiety every time he hands over his ID.
Whether it's, you know, to pick up, you know, a concert ticket, or whether it's when I'm traveling, or to show a driver's license to prove any purchase that I might have with my debit or credit card, I have a moment where I'm afraid.
Maddox is transgender, born female, but identifies as male, something not reflected on his driver's license. And there's nothing he can do about it. That's because the state requires that a person's information on their driver's license match their birth certificate.
I'm stuck with a driver's license that doesn't match my identity.
The Secretary of State's office released a statement regarding the issue. The information listed in a driver's license and ID card must match the documents that are presented. If an individual presents the department with a birth certificate that reflects a change in the person's sex, the driver and the ID file would be changed to reflect that information. But that may change. 6 transgender people in Michigan are suing Secretary of State Ruth Johnson over the state's driver's license policy.
This lawsuit against the state of Michigan, I think, is long overdue.
Maddox says he hopes this lawsuit will encourage his home state to follow the lead of other states.
There are lots of states that don't require a person to prove having sex reassignment surgery prior to changing their driver's license. And Michigan could join those states and make the process easier so that trans people can live their authentic lives and have their documentation match their authentic selves.
Michigan is one of 15 states that requires a birth certificate change in order to make a change to an ID. Live in Kalamazoo, Cheri Hardman, News Channel 3.
Yeah, that's right. The fire is under control, Andy. But as you can see, there is still smoke coming out of the building. Several buildings, they were trying to get this fire out. The Pish Company is a demolition and salvage company. The Pish Company is a salvage company. The crews were called to the scene around 9:30 this evening. 11 different fire departments responding. There were reports of explosions happening here. We spoke to the Grand Rapids Deputy Fire Chief about the cause. He says that was due to propane tanks inside of the building, but he says that no one was inside the building at the time, so there were no reports of injuries at this time. There were also reports of people being evacuated in the area. He says that was not the case. Crews are expected to be out here for quite some time battling this fire. We hope to bring you more information on this fire, but for now, live in Grand Rapids, Cheri Hardman, News Channel 3.
Caleb Dooley attended school here at McFaw Elementary. Tonight, some of his young classmates, family, even strangers showed up here to remember him.
As I look around the circle, I'm sure the families look around and say, wow, so many people who love Caleb and love the Hudley family, and we're glad that you're here tonight.
Caleb Dooley was known as the miracle baby by his family. His parents spent 10 years trying to conceive before Caleb came along. His uncle Tim Hall says they knew he was special.
Sweetest boy, had the sweetest voice, always trying to cheer everybody up, and always had the brightest smile on his face. He was just very special.
And the people in his tight-knit community thought so as well. Hundreds showed up for a candlelight vigil tonight, and they were dressed in Tigers gear. And that was not by chance. Hall says his nephew was a huge fan, seemingly from birth.
As early as 5 months old, they had him at a baseball game in Comerica, just watching a game, and he's been to 2-3 games every year. Just loved watching baseball.
Caleb and his family had just attended one of his very first games when the car he was riding in was struck by a truck that deputies say ran through a stop sign, killing Caleb and injuring his parents and 3-month-old baby brother.
We really feel he was blessed to play his last game, or his first game, on that day.
Hall says it's hard to comprehend that the little boy with such a big personality is gone, but he is thankful for what his community has shown his family during this difficult time.
I don't think we've ever felt this kind of love before. The entire community and everything has just been so overwhelming. There's just so much love and support coming in.
Caleb's mom and brother are still in the hospital tonight. His dad was released, but I'm told he will not leave the hospital without his family. Live in Berry County, Cheri Hardman, News Channel 3. You could be seeing lower energy prices this summer and throughout the rest of the year. A state report is predicting a higher demand for energy, but lower prices. Today, we give our dad some extra love because it's Father's Day, but your father may not be getting as much attention as mom did this year. A new survey says dads aren't treated as well as moms on their special day. Tell Me Not found only 73% of people will buy a Father's Day gift, whereas 83% say they bought one for Mother's Day. For those who do hit the stores, they're likely to spend nearly $30 less on dad than mom. Researchers say that's because June is an expensive month with weddings and vacations. Right now, a man is in serious condition after crashing his moped in South Haven. It happened on Black River Street yesterday evening. The 64-year-old has a severe head injury. Police say the man was not wearing a helmet, and they are investigating whether alcohol was a factor in the crash. Deputies are investigating what they believe is a drunk driving crash in Kent County that killed a motorcyclist. It happened near the intersection of 10 Mile Road and Oakview Avenue Northeast in Cortland Township just before 10 Friday night. Deputies say Taylor Maidema was eastbound on 10 Mile when he collided with a Chevy Tahoe. They say Maidema died at the scene. Deputies continue to investigate, but again believe alcohol was involved. Just an unbelievable scene out here as I was exiting exit 77 here onto Grand River. One of the emergency workers who was blocking the exit told me it looked like a bomb went off down here. And when I arrived, that's exactly what it looks like. Just pure chaos down here. Buildings destroyed. Some of them you can't even recognize what they were. I'm standing here with the resident, Julie, who lives just around the corner from where this destruction took place, and she's going to tell us what she heard and saw inside of her apartment building. Julie, what was it like?
I went into my bathroom to take and put candles in there because I knew something was going to happen. So I came back out, and you could see the rain going from side to side as opposed to up and down. The trees in the backyard were on their side. The rumbling, when they say it sounds like a freight train, that's exactly what it sounds like. And within 3 minutes, it was over. Went outside to assess the damage, and you can see that things just are unrecognizable at this point.
Did you hear sirens going off?
Nothing. We heard nothing. I mean, and normally you hear them testing it. It's very loud, and I heard nothing.
And you live really walking distance from all of this. What kind of damage to your apartment, if any?
There's no damage over there, just a few limbs down. I had pine needles stuck in my screen doors, but other than that, nothing over there.
What was going through your mind as you were listening to what was happening, and then you come over here and see this?
I was scared to death. I mean, you don't know what to think. I mean, I was afraid to go outside, but yet I knew there were people out here, and I wanted to help to see if everyone was okay, and that's what we did. We walked around to make sure everyone in our area was okay.
All
All right, thank you so much, Julie. And surprisingly, we spoke to the Portland fire chief. He tells us there have been no fatalities recorded, just some minor injuries. When you take a look at all of this damage, that is so surprising to hear that they were able to get people out of these buildings and no one was seriously hurt. They do have dogs out here searching still, but they say that's just as a precaution. But for now, it looks like people got out of this destruction here okay. For now, live in Portland, Cheri Hardman, back to you.
Take a look at this. This is actually someone's front yard. All of this rain creating a watery mess for residents tonight.
It looks like a flowing river, and I can't believe it.
In the nearly 50 years Richard Bailey has been coming to his summer home on Lake of the Woods, he says he's never seen this much water that wasn't actually in the lake.
When I left this morning, it didn't look like this. And when I come home today, it's like, we're being washed out. We got a river coming through here. They did something with the field out there last year. I don't know if it was drainage or anything. I can't really say for sure. But with all this rain and everything, I don't know where it's coming from.
In just a few hours today, heavy rain has flooded parts of Lawton and here in Decatur, washing out roads and flooding yards. And with more rain expected overnight, Bailey says he is worried about what he will wake up to in the morning.
Very concerned because it could wash out this driveway and affect me from going to work and everything.
Bailey says he will keep his fingers crossed that no more rain will fall before this current water dries up.
No, there's nothing I can do. Just wait and keep an eye on it and hope for the best.
Now, we're expected to get a short break tomorrow before the rain picks back up again on Wednesday. More rain means that rain could end up eventually in our major rivers like the Kalamazoo, Grand, and St. Joseph. All of that rain could mean more flooding later this week. Live in Van Buren County, Cheri Hardman, News Channel 3.